sticks.
Welcome everyone to another fantastic episode of Our Parents' Basement. Thank you for joining us once again on your Thursday evening. I'm so glad to be here. Thursdays are a special day because the next day is Friday, but mainly because we get to spend this time together and talk all things nerd and video game related, and that makes me very happy. So thank you for joining us. I am Philip, and I shall be hosting for the evening. And with me, we have two of my very favorite people of all time. The first, he just walked in the door. Charles? Charles, how's it going this evening?
Okay. Got out of Calc 1, so it came straight here.
Did you find the limit?
Which one, from the left or the right?
Did you take it to the limit every time?
I tried to.
That's a song, right?
Yeah.
Song. I love it. Very nice. Well, glad you made it here on time. Glad you survived Calc another day. And glad to have you. And we also got Turf. And Turf, how's it going this evening for you?
Man, I'm doing well. Once again, I'm happy to be here on the Thursday night. I'm happy for some more Our Parents' Basement. Was that genuine enough?
That was. You almost sounded sincere.
I'm excited about this. I think we're gonna have a fun show. I think we're gonna talk about some games we love, some games you need to try out, some you people out there and might want to check it out, some games that you might need to steer clear of, and in my case, even one you think you might like. And a little teaser. That's in the business. That's what we call a teaser. Little string along.
Teaser. I hardly know her.
Hey, zinga.
Anyway.
And then we're gonna get a little deep with you tonight. Tonight, after all this, well, we'll just leave it for later. We're gonna save this one for you. We're gonna. That's a big teaser. See, it seemed like it was important, and I cut it off. See how I did that? So, anyways, there we go. Now, right into the show.
We're gonna let that stew for a second. So, as Turf kind of mentioned, we're going to talk about a game you should try and a game you should not try. The game you should try, that's a little segment we call Hear Me Out. But before we get to that, we're going to start on the opposite of Hear Me Out. What should we call this segment anyway? Watch out. Look out.
Fuck this shit.
Shut the F up.
Well, the point is, I don't know. How about dodge them? How about
dodge them?
Avoid this at all cost. How about I'm actually brainstorming at this very instant. So just throwing stuff at the wall, see what sticks. How about
I actually like dodge them because sounds like dodgeball. But anyways, so right now we're going to tell you about a game. Each of us, we're going to go around the table and mention a game that you should not try. Save your money for something else. And it was kind of my idea to get into this segment tonight, so I will go first. This is very emotional for me because the game that I'm going to tell you to avoid is one that stars my favorite Nintendo icon of all time. It's one I, to be fair, didn't do too much research on, but still, it's my favorite Nintendo little Nintendo mascot. So, what did I have to lose? Ladies and gentlemen, be sure to not spend your hard-earned money on Kirby Battle Royale for the 3DS ever.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So this game was released maybe physically a couple days ago. I already finished it.
This is a fresh bad game.
Yeah, this is fresh out of the oven bad game right here. The reason I say this is because it's not a Kirby game in the traditional sense, which normally would be fine. Instead, it's a collection of mini games. None of the mini games at all are fun. So
none of these are fun. There's no redeeming qualities.
Does it sound fun to you to gather apples and throw them onto a trapdoor, then pull a switch so the trapdoor consumes the apples? No, of course it doesn't sound fun to you. And that's one of the mini games.
That sounds like work.
Yeah, and there's a story mode, which is all of 2.5 hours. So yeah, for that. There's an online campaign, but I don't know if anyone in their right mind will be playing this online right now. Anyway, I'm very upset by this. Everyone, I love Kirby. This might be the worst Kirby game of all time, and I would know.
Is that better? So, is it better, or I guess worse than the Nintendo 64 version of Kirby Crystal Shards.
Oh, Crystal Shards. Worse. At least that was a Kirby game. At least you can fly and puff and suck in enemies and swallow them and get copy abilities.
Fly.
That sounded
puff
raunchy,
and
I know.
suck.
But gutter, out of the gutter. But this is just a collection of lame mini games. And I'm just learning new things about it right now. I just read the box. It says only plays in 2D. So if you like your 3D effects, you're out of luck.
So how often really do you use the 3D on the 3DS?
For Kirby games, I go back and forth.
A Link Between Worlds, I used it.
Yes.
But other than that, it was screen door on a submarine, man. It was like tits on a boar hog.
I'm not sure what that means.
Tits on a boar hog.
Gotcha. So yeah,
Like,
I think the sad thing is they're gonna
to nurse the young. On a sow, a female hog, tits would be used to nurse the young, but a boar still has tits even though he doesn't need them. So they're useless.
I might use that for.
Yeah, that's a real. It's an Arkansas. That's a very country thing. The tits on a boar hog, or it's like a screen door on a submarine. Is that better?
That I like. I like that one. So yeah, it's just not good. Avoid it. I'm not going to get rid of it. I love Kirby. It's going to be part of the collection. But man, I was bummed by this. This really let me down. So
you seem like it. I mean, it's really just like betrayed almost.
I do feel slightly betrayed. The only redeeming thing is knowing that in March, Kirby's new Switch game will be out. So I'm looking forward to that, and hopefully that redeems this mess of a game. So
is it? I'm trying to. What was the Kirby mini game for Nintendo or Super Nintendo? It's Kirby Superstar.
Kirby Superstar. That was a collection of at least Kirby titles. At least he was running and going through levels and saving the world.
You don't steal the powers. You don't puff and suck.
Nope. You can puff. There's no suck. Katie. So,
but except for the game,
you know how
game, it sucks.
Game sucks. The only way to get a power is you had to start a mini game, then at the menu select screen, choose your power, which is so anticlimactic. I know. And there's only 9 of them. There might be some DLC later, but I'm not gonna bother with that shit. So,
is it a game bad enough that you want to throw it into a fire pit and watch it melt?
No, I mean,
or would that be a race of a good fire pit?
It's a waste of a good fire pit and a waste of money. I mean, I'm not made of cash here, so. But it's not. Nothing's ever that bad. That's my choice.
Man, that's probably one of the best ones we've done because people might actually want to give it a shot because they haven't yet. They hadn't had a chance. Only been out 2 days. And save your cash, folks.
Mm-hmm.
Kirby, whatever.
Battle Royale.
Just in time for the WWF Royal Rumble in January. Yeah, that's real.
Guess you could say it royally sucks.
Hey. There we go. So there we go. Keep away. Just stay away.
Well, what about you, Turf? Looks like you got something.
All right, I've got something. And this is controversy. And it's not just
controversy.
Not just controversy for the sake of controversy. This is controversy within myself. This is something that I think I like. I love the idea of, but the game kind of sucks. And the game sucks because it's so freaking hard. And it's got some cool ideas. And it's really an awesome idea. And I almost want to just skip it because it's right here. And I'm going to pick it up and I'm going to show you. This game is about $20 loose. It's about 65 or so complete.
Ooh, pricey.
I mean, it's an NES game. It's actually a game made by Rare, published by Trade West.
Oh
yeah. We hopped in the Wayback Machine for this one. This game came out in June of 1991. This game, I love the idea of. I love the first level of. But then it goes downhill really quick, and you need to save your money and not buy Battletoads.
Really? Wow.
I love the idea of this game. I love the art of this game. I love that the characters' names are Zit, Pimple, and Rash. I love the whole killing the rats thing or fighting the rats thing. I love so much about this game except for the game. It's the truth. There's so many good ideas, but the game is not hard like you play. What's a hard like Ninja Gaiden or
Mega Man.
Those like the first Mega Man. Those are hard games, right? But they're hard games because they're difficult, but they're still very well made. This is hard because you have to memorize stuff. There's no reflex involved in the turbo tunnel. It's strictly memorizing it. Excuse me. There's the snake part, where you're jumping on the backs of snakes in the later levels. I don't remember which level it was. You have to memorize it. It's trial and error, and trial and error does not make a good game. It makes a bad game. But like I said, I love the first level is awesome. You cannot beat the first level of Battletoads is one of my favorite levels in any game. You get to see the cool things with the you hit them 3 times, you do the big boot, you can run and do the ram charge with your head turns into horns. It's just a really, really cool idea, really well done first level, but then it goes to ish really quick. They're like the ice level it's just hard for the sake of being hard. They had to artificially extend the game by making it difficult, and it's too difficult. It's so difficult, it's not even fun. They took a great idea, a great premise, and a bunch of excellent, talented people worked on this game, and they made a crappy game. There, I just said it. It's a cool idea. The first level is extremely fun. And like I said, I love everything about the game except for the game itself.
I don't know about anyone who actually loves Battletoads now that I think about it. I can't think of its fans.
It's not good. It's just not the game itself is just not fun. If you're a lot of people remember it because their buddy had it and they played it over at their friend's house and they played the first level several times. And that's incredible. That's awesome. But then after that, the part where you're dangling down, do the wrecking ball thing.
I remember that.
I like that part. I like it up until Turbo Tunnel. Once you do the Turbo Tunnel, it just goes to hell after that. And it's just
stage 3, stage 4.
Yes, it's 3.
Okay.
It's just so, and it's, Jason, you're just bad at games. Yes, I'm bad at games. I'm not just fantastic at games. But this is it's too hard. It's so hard. It's not fun. Mm-hmm. And it's not hard because it's a hard game. Because I can finish Contra. I can finish Ninja Gaiden. I cannot. Battletoads is just infuriating.
I agree. I think we all agree.
So there you go. There's my look out, dodge it, whatever you want to do. Stay away from Battletoads. Even though the cover art is
cover art's great. Yeah.
It's amazing. Like honestly, if I was to just like go get a tattoo, this is it. This is what. Just not the whole scene. That'd be ridiculous.
Yeah. But get a whole chest piece of that.
The Battletoad, the Battletoad guy right there in the front. I believe I think that's Zitz. I'm not sure, but yeah, stay away. Don't spend if you find it cheap, go ahead and get Battletoads. But I say cheap is less than $10.
Yeah. I just I hear horror stories about it being so very difficult. But damn, I didn't know it was that difficult. I didn't really play that much of it. So,
and there you go.
All right. Well, I'm sorry you had to endure Battletoads.
That's okay. It's okay. Like I said, most of the enduring wasn't actually playing it. It was this last, when we decided we were going to do this, and I was thinking of a game, and I saw that, and I was like, you know what? I think this is the one. I think I was going over the games on my shelf. I'm looking at my shelf. I see all my games. I'm like, man. I think that's my games. And I saw that. I'm like, you know what? I had pondered on a little bit, and I was like, you know what? That really is not a good game. It's just not fun.
So far we've had, a brand new release, discussed in this segment, a fan favorite, or at least I thought it was a fan favorite, discuss in this segment. Charles, what do you have?
Well, I am going back in time, hopping in a DeLorean and going back in time for this game. It's a game by LJN, so they had quality releases. Back to the Future for the NES, which is I don't know what the fuck they were thinking when they made that game. I remember, when did this take place in a movie? It was so horrible. You're jumping over stuff. It's hard to get past even the first level in there. It's just awful. Controls are bad, and you keep getting run into stuff. You can't jump over certain things. It makes it impossible. So,
no, I never played it.
You're lucky. So. You are lucky. I know, Turf, you've unfortunately had to play Back to the Future at some point.
I have. And, honestly, it's not, I don't feel like, and I'm not going to argue for it because it is a bad game, but I think it gets way worse of a rap than what it really is. Now, if you want a really terrible game, play Back to the Future 2 and 3. It's worse than the first one, I promise.
Both an NES or?
It's an NES as well, yes.
Yeah. And I had to juggle between Back to the Future and Bill and Ted's Excellent Video Game Adventure.
Bill and Ted is definitely worse.
Yeah, but then it's LJN. Did they do any quality games?
Jaws. I stand by that.
Yeah,
I stand by Karate Kid.
I haven't played that one. Jaws I played a lot of. That was fun. I mean, it never really ended, but it was fun to kill some time with. But
I can't say Bill and Ted's Excellent Video Game Adventure is bad because Jenny kind of got that for me when I was a little bummed out. She bought it for me when I had to put one of my cats down many years ago, so I can't say that it's a bad game. It's a good game, Jenny. Thank you for getting it for me on a sad day.
I was waiting for you to redeem that story.
Yeah,
my cat dies. Here's Bill and Ted's Excellent Video Game Adventure. I bought this great game for you. I'm like,
I thought you would like it.
It's
sad. Your cat croaked.
It's an excellent movie.
Yes.
Yeah. And I say excellent movie very loosely. It's a very enjoyable movie. How about that? It's not a good movie, but it's enjoyable.
Yes.
It's a really cool premise.
Yep.
Bill S. Preston and Ted Theodore Logan are
Bill S. Preston Esquire.
Oh, excuse me. Bill S. Preston Esquire and Ted Theodore Logan are characters that will be forever etched into your memory. But their video game is not excellent. It should be Bill and Ted's Balls Adventure. Bogus.
Can we sue someone for that because it's false advertising when they call it Bill and Ted's Excellent Video Game Adventure? It's a horrible.
Well, I think that's just the title of it. You can call something whatever you want, but had it been actually reviewed as that, then yeah, maybe.
You got fuckers that will hide you in that game.
It's a bad game. She should have just let your cat died and then kicked you in the nuts and just went on.
Yeah.
Sorry to hear about your cat.
Yeah.
Let's go to a happier note.
That's a twofer.
Oh, we kind of just took a dump on Bill and Ted. We need to go back to taking a dump on Back to the Future. Back to the Future was the game that he picked.
Yes.
It has horrible music that is actually the power of love sped up, and then it actually is the power of love.
Huey Lewis and
the power of love.
But it's sped up and it sounds weird. But I don't know. It's not the worst. It's not fun, but it's not the worst game LJN did.
X-Men.
That was probably Bill and X-Men. X-Men's horrible.
Yeah, X-Men's
actually. I almost picked that for mine.
Bob Gale, the screenwriter of Back to the Future, said it's one of the worst games ever. He tried to say, "Hey, do it this way, do it this way." I was just like, no, we're doing our own thing. We're doing our own thing. We're doing our own thing.
Actually, I rented it when I was a kid, and it was maybe a Nintendo Power or something. It had to be Nintendo Power because was telling me how to get past the where they're throwing pies in the second level.
Yeah.
You supposed to turn it on if you have a turbo controller or an NES Advantage, you can turn on the slow feature, and it helps. So I did do that. But it still sucks.
Well, darn. I'm feeling kind of blue right now. We should let's liven this up. Let's go with something more fun and talk about something we recommend to actually to our listeners and our fans and such. How's that sound to you two?
Sounds good.
Okay,
I've got a good one.
All right. So this is a little segment we call Hear Me Out. We try to sell you and everyone else a game to try. And Charles, you seem excited, so let's hear what you got.
It's not a cheap. This ain't cheap. I've talked about this many times, but get Space Shadow with the Hyper Shot.
Man, you love that game, don't you?
It is so fun to play, and it's the coolest peripheral ever released. You pretty much got like a freaking submachine gun that's got force feedback in it.
Mm-hmm.
And it takes 3 C-cell batteries in it, but hell, it's awesome. It's just a basic, simple game. It's like the OG first-person shooter. I would say that. So it is awesome.
Not in Chicago, that means the original gangster. The original gangster's OG.
What? That's not a common thing. OG.
Yes, it is.
It's pretty common.
It's very common.
I don't know, but yeah, it's one of the coolest peripherals ever. It's got to cost like $150, $175, but
jeez.
But it is cool.
Where'd you find yours? I forget.
eBay from Japan.
Okay, gotcha.
So it has a sounds like you're actually firing a freaking submachine gun or a little Uzi.
So don't take it with you in public because that would cause a news headline.
Yes, it is painted completely black. There is no red noses.
Orange.
There's no orange on it. So
yeah,
you get it outside, especially in Chicago. You'll get yourself shot by the Chicago Police Department. Not that they like to shoot people. They never shoot anyone all the time.
Hey,
but anyway,
Chicago's finest. Chicago's finest. Depends on what side. If you're on the south side, then they'll shoot anything. No, I'm just kidding.
But yeah, it's fun. It's just shooting aliens. It's super simple game. And what's cool about the Hyper Shot? You actually play normal. You can play Mario Brothers of it. It works as a normal NES controller too,
right?
Yes, which is so weird.
Hey,
but I love it. Buy it. It's cool. Just because it's so fucking cool.
I love seeing Charles glow over this thing I never even heard of until he picked his up from eBay. So good choice for this, Charles. Very good choice. Turf, what about you? Do you have something you want to recommend to us?
I do.
We'll hear you out.
Hey, just take a second. I want y'all to hear me out. All right. There's been several shots at superhero games over the course of the years. Starting all the way back in the Atari 2600, they had a Superman game. They had a Spider-Man game. They had there was we mentioned the X-Men a while ago. So there's a ton of superhero games out there. Well, this, in my opinion, could possibly be the first one that actually captured that feeling of being a superhero. You felt superpowered. You felt like you had the attributes of said superhero. Now, at doing a little research, looking at this and like when it came out and stuff, I found that this is not the most definitive version of this game. It's a good version, and I love it. It's the one I had when it was new, but I got to get it for the Dreamcast apparently. And the one for the Dreamcast is not expensive, but it's like $30. When did that happen? And what I'm talking about is whether you want to call it Spider-Man 64 or Spider-Man 2000, either one is an excellent game.
Okay.
It's the first, in my opinion, and the first superhero game that really captured the made you feel like you were that superhero. Spider-Man is nimble. Spider-Man is quick. You can swing from building to building in a New York. They had, Nintendo 64 is kind of infamous maybe for the fog, because the hardware couldn't render, so they used fog everywhere to make things. Well, they mix that into the story. The Doc Ock and these people, the bad guys, have set loose this green fog in New York.
I like that.
I did too. I was like that. I didn't realize it. I thought it was just a green fog, and then I realized as I've gotten older that, they couldn't render, so they couldn't. The machine wasn't capable of doing that, so they just used that green fog as a tool. That's a really cool idea. So, anyways, it's about $15, and so it's not expensive at all. There's lots of unlockables, lots of hidden stuff. A lot of covers of Spider-Man comic books you can collect and unlock. The different Spidey suits, the black one, the Scarlet Spider, the I don't know if the Iron Man Spider one's in there or not, but there's like Spider-Man 2099 and all the different Spider-Man. Did I mention the black one, the Venom one? Anyways, that's in there, and you can you can unlock stuff like that in the game. Cool thing about it was a little trivia. The narrator actually is Stan Lee.
Oh, that's cool.
He did the narration for it. Tommy Tallarico did the music for it. He was the guy that did Earthworm Jim. He's done a lot of really good compositions for video game music, especially 16-bit.
That name sounds familiar. Where have I?
You've heard it a bunch. He's done.
Okay.
Like he's the guy. He's like he'd be the rock star out of the people that have done video game soundtracks.
That's cool.
He's the one name you'll remember.
Okay.
So he did that. Actually, I think it was. I'll have to look, but one of the characters, I had this written down and I left my paper somewhere that I probably should have been doing other things besides getting ready for this podcast. Anyways, it's voiced by, it was earlier today between the hours of 8 and 4:30. Anyways, Lawrence Fishburne actually voiced a character in this, and I can't remember which one it was because I had to look twice. I was like, really? But yeah, he did voice acting in this game, and it's a phenomenal game. The music obviously is going to be better. There's a PlayStation version of it, there's a Nintendo 64, and then there's a Dreamcast version of it. The PlayStation version has a more like jagged look, but it has the full motion video.
Oh, cool!
Like cutscenes, and it has better music. Okay, I'll give you that. But what the Nintendo 64 did, because they have cartridges and they had size limitations, they couldn't, put the full motion video on there. They used still shots from the full motion video and incorporated it like comic book panes.
Oh, that's clever.
Okay, not just clever. I think it works better.
Oh, okay.
I think it gives you, because it's not like movie Spider-Man. We're not playing Spider-Man the movie. We're not playing, we're not Spider-Man 2 Doc Ock. This is the comic book Doc Ock.
Yeah.
So it feels like a comic book. And I like that. It was clever, and I like the way it worked. Now, the Dreamcast version has the cutscenes. It has better sound. It has better textures and models and all that razzmatazz. So I have to get that now because I've been wanting to play this game again. I haven't played it in several years, but I've been wanting to play it again. And so I went to look at, that's when I started looking this stuff up. I'm like, man, I got to get the Dreamcast version now. So it's high on my list of priorities on VGCollect.com. It's on my wish list. You can use VGCollect.com to catalog all your video game wants, needs, have-to-haves, and all those things you already do have. So VGCollect.com. It's there for you. All right. Anyways,
I love it when we do that. That's never going to get old.
It never will. It's a fun superhero game that there's a lot of voice acting, a lot of good cameos from other characters. I mean, like the Punisher shows up, Daredevil, Black Cat, Captain America. There's all these Marvel characters show up in this game. See, as far as bad guys, I believe Doc Ock, he's running the show. I think, maybe, can't really remember. And anyways, Venom shows up. I know there's a boss fight with a Rhino. There's a boss fight with the Lizard, I believe. So I mean, all the big names, the big Spider-Man villains show up. I don't remember the Vulture being in that. He would have been Spider-Man Homecoming. He'd been big right now. But Scorpion's in it. I remember him. So anyways, there's a good range of the villains, a good story. You're wanted by the police because you got framed by an imposter Spider-Man. Just cool stuff, man. It's fun. The web slinging is fun. You can throw your webs and tie guys up. Like, like you're playing a Spider-Man game. You want to be able to shoot the webs, you want to shoot the webs at the dudes and you want to tie them up and then go punch them in the head. Guess what? You can tie them up. You can run past them. You can punch them in the head.
Right on.
You can swing from building to building. You can use your webs to go straight up to the ceiling. You can lower yourself down from the ceiling. You can put webs on your hands and make like super punches. You can do a web shield. Just all these cool little Spider-Man things that you can do that make you feel like a superhero. And there you go. Spider-Man 64, Spider-Man 2000. Give it a shot. You will have fun.
All right. Damn. And you recommend the Dreamcast or the 64 version, just not the PS version?
No, PlayStation version is not. It's good.
Okay.
It's a lot of people would like it better than the Nintendo 64 version. Just I've got the Nintendo 64 version. That's what I had back in the day, and here's some heresy for you. I like the Nintendo 64 controller better than I do the PlayStation controller. But that's just
first time I've ever heard that before. But hey, different strokes and all that.
And that just comes from I had a Nintendo 64 and didn't have a PlayStation. That's
all good. It's all good. Good choice. Very good choice. Wow, that's a tough act to follow. But I will try. And as usual for Hear Me Out, I always go for the I want to make sure it's affordable. I want to make sure it's easy to find, and I want to make sure it's fun. And for this time, I went with a little something that takes place in probably one of the most popular RPG franchises of all time, but it's not really an RPG. It is more of an action game. There's a little bit of RPG elements sprinkled into it, but yeah, so without further ado, for Hear Me Out, I decided to recommend to everyone Dirge of Cerberus, Final Fantasy VII. This is PlayStation, sorry, the title is, the cover is all glossy and shiny. Here, there's the back of it. Much better looking. It takes place 3 years after the events of Final Fantasy VII, which most people seem to love, self-included. It's definitely not a turn-based RPG by any means. Instead, what you do is you take control of a character that really didn't get his time in the spotlight last time. You take control of Vincent Valentine, who I've always enjoyed in the FF7 universe. But this time he gets his own game. He's never really had the chance to, be the star that he is. So now he is. He gets his own adventure. It's really cool because he's a marksman, so he gets to equip a variety of cool guns. So he has a big old sniper rifle, some handguns, a machine gun. You can customize them. You can add elemental magic to them, and it's so satisfying when you blow up a whole swarm of enemies with a fire spell, or you freeze some enemies in place with an ice spell. It's just such a good feeling. It's not a perfect game by any means. It's kind of clunky if you try to fight without a gun, and some of the stages are kind of poorly designed. But it's a great little 10-15 hour game. It's cheap. It's only like anywhere between $5 and $15 complete, depending on where you go. Every time I go to a game store, I always see it. It's everywhere. So if you liked FF7, I would say you might like this. It's not a turn-based RPG by any means, but it's next best thing. It stars Vincent, and that's good enough for me. So that's really all I got for that. Don't really have that much to say. I just wanted to, say it's not as bad as the reviews would lead you to believe.
So I've never even heard of it. I didn't know there was like spin-offs, I guess, of Final Fantasy VII. That's kind of cool. Something deeper into the mythos.
Yeah, a little bit. That's not going to win any story awards. It's not like a novella, but it's fun. It's a fun little side story, and you can tell that they tried a lot of new things in this game as well. Square is known for its active time bars and all that crap. This is a little different, and I think for the most part it worked. It worked for them. But yeah, they have some FF7 spin-offs. They have this one. They have a few others. They had that movie, Advent Children, which is ridiculously written, but ridiculous fun as well, because it's just so over the top, which is what Square is known for.
Right.
But that's another story.
All right.
Yeah, that's my choice for that. I love this segment. I love learning new things about games that I should check out or ones that I should not check out. So this is why I love this podcast.
You know, the not, the dodge them, the whatever we're going to call that. Anyways, it's a little harder for me to do because I don't like to take a dump on games. It's hard for me to do. You get to, I don't know. There's so many bad games out there. It's easy to dodge bad games, easy to miss bad games. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely.
Unless it's something that, brand new, like with a Kirby name on it. That's hard to, that's what maybe this should be good for. Maybe we need to stick to newer stuff, or I don't know, stuff that's a little bit more popular that you see all the time. Like Back to the Future, you see it in game stores all the time. So maybe that's what we need. Maybe that's what we need to do. Stuff that's out there and readily available. Like, nah, bro, just don't do it.
I forgot to ask, your Spider-Man game, is it affordable?
Like $15.
All right, there you go.
Super affordable, yeah.
Yeah.
It's easy to find. It's plentiful. You go to just about any game store and find it. So yeah, it's a good one there.
Good, very nice. Well, I think it's time, my two friends, that we try a little something new. And this is another segment we're, experimenting with. We really don't have a name for it yet, but for our listeners out there, I'm sure you all know of the advice giver, Dear Abby, and her amazing advice columns. We were also written some letters, here at Our Parents' Basement, and we want to help you, the listener, out with your problems. So we have some letters here. We're going to read them. We're going to try to help. We're going to work together as a team. This is, we're going to put some teamwork together, and we're going to help you with your issues. Does that sound good to you two? I think this
sounds great.
It's like Dear Abby by quorum.
I got a letter here from someone, and it reads this. Dear OPB, I saw that the PlayStation Vita had a bunch of games that featured scantily clad women in erotic poses. So I wanted to give it to someone as a gag gift. But now I actually ended up starting using it myself. Unfortunately, the more I use it, the more unresponsive the buttons become. There also appears to be some bizarre residue all over the screen. What should I do? Signed, Aroused and Confused.
All right. This is
Aroused and Confused.
I'm gonna lead off on this one.
Well,
I'm just going to go ahead
okay.
and quit touching yourself while you're playing your Vita. That little thing down there, it'll make a mess. So just be careful, guys. Don't play your Vita with your pants off.
Yeah.
Well, like I'm saying, if you have to, wrap it in some saran wrap.
That's disgusting.
I mean, safety first. You don't.
You don't know where your Vita's been. Come on.
Yeah, that wasn't. Was it a new Vita? That wasn't a new Vita. He bought it used, so it's been places. You can't be too careful.
Someone else could have been playing those games, and you could have gone a sip of Herfloids,
So Aroused and Confused, we hope you practice safe Vita protection or something. And I hope you're not thinking of still giving that to your friend as a gift, because that's been through some use. And we at OPB don't advocate sloppy second gifts or hand-me-downs of that sort. So hopefully, Aroused and Confused, you learned something from this just now.
All right, Aroused and Confused, I want to talk to you about something. What kind of person? What kind of person buys their friend a gift and then decides to play with it first?
Yeah, isn't that just bad manners?
Yeah,
I would think so. So I think you have different questions you need to answer. I mean, I've got a gift that may not have given people that I played with quite a bit when I was a teenager. But
oh my goodness.
But I mean, for the most part, most gifts, you don't want to use them first. Come on, man, have some manners.
Yeah.
Amen.
Buy one for yourself, or keep that one and get your friend another one.
Yeah,
so
Aroused, a clean one. There's a lot of Vita games out there with the scantily clad girls, because Japanese people like that stuff.
Yeah.
And There you go. That Vita is very Japanese-ish. What's the
niche?
Japanese like?
It's very. Like,
I don't mean to sound like mean when I say Japanesey, but that's what I mean. I feel dirty when I say it. You know what I mean?
I know. Yeah. It sounds better when you type it out. It doesn't look as bad.
Maybe if I say Japanese-ish, Japanese like.
There you go.
There we go.
But it is that.
I don't feel as dirty when I say because that there's her Japanesey. I don't know. I feel kind of bad about myself right now.
I love my Vita, but yeah, most of the games are like that, you know.
Well, them anime girls, they've had too many chicken nuggets. Is what it is.
A lot.
The hormones in the chicken, man, it just they blossomed.
Them asses, those assets, if you will. Well, Aroused and Confused, thank you for your letter. We appreciate you.
I hope we helped a little. I mean, just this is completely serious stuff. So y'all need to thank you, man. I appreciate you having the guts to write that in. Let's applaud to Aroused and Confused. Having the guts to write that in. That's a big step.
Well, did anyone else get a letter from our listeners?
I got a few here, but I'll do this one first.
Okay.
It says, Dear OPP, when I play my Game Boy while driving, I keep crashing. Is there an issue with my car, or is my Game Boy broken, or do I need the Super Handy Boy to help me play and drive? This is from Texas Schlong 429.
Wow. Well, that's a big in there.
Texas Schlong 429.
All right. I don't know. I'm going to say that are you actually crashing like your car, or are you crashing in the game? Because that would make a world of importance here.
Sounds like he's crashing his car.
Crashing his car.
Okay. Yeah.
Or her car.
This person's car. This individual's car.
Well, Texas Schlong 429, I first got to start asking if you're of age to actually drive and play the Game Boy at the same time. I mean, the statute of limitations in certain parts of Texas, I heard, is 15 and a half to both operate machinery like a car, and I'm assuming it's a cinder block Game Boy at the same time. So if you are underage, that's not good. I mean, what will your parents, what will the neighbors say? Think.
The
ladies at church? Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I think don't play your Game Boy while driving. If you're operating heavy machinery, just don't. I think that's the issue here.
Now you can play your Game Gear while doing that, or maybe your PSP, but
Game Boy, you play your Game Gear, you run out of batteries before you even get out of your driveway, so it's okay.
There's a car adapter. Your car can run out of batteries. So yeah, that's probably going to be safe to say. You don't need to be playing with your Texas Schlong while you're driving. Here we go. I also want to know, if you're old enough to drive, you're old enough to own a Game Boy and appreciate a Game Boy, why do you have a screen name that is Texas Schlong 187 or whatever it was?
It's at 429.
429. Oh, okay.
I don't know.
What does 429 even mean? Like, what's so special about those three numbers in that order?
I have no idea.
I can't think.
We have to talk to this guy.
Maybe it's the measurement of Texas Schlong.
Yeah, 4.29 micrometers.
Wow, that's really small. I don't know.
I was hoping for
everything's bigger in Texas, is what they say. I don't know.
Well, that theory was just shot to hell. So unfortunately, not. Well, Texas Schlong, I hope 429. I really hoped we helped you, understand that safety first. Kind of like what we told Aroused and Confused. It's all about that safety. So
these screen names have a certain theme going on here. Seems like it.
Well, do they? I mean, these are anonymous writers, so who knows? Maybe they're the same person. We'll never know. We'll just have to read.
And these are already written down right there. So.
Oh, they mailed you a whole notebook. That's weird.
Yeah.
I wrote them down.
Oh, transcribe them, if you will.
Yes.
Oh, good.
Someone sent me a voicemail. So I want to.
All right.
Well,
I'll tell you what. Mine's not quite as ridiculous as those two, because I don't know. Maybe I just got a good. I don't know. The one I picked just was a little bit more thought, a little bit more serious tone here.
Oh, all right. We're listening.
Dear OPB, I, like many of your other listeners, am an avid gamer. I'm a grown man at 34 years old, and I really enjoy video games. Now, not only am I a gamer, I'm also a man. I like the ladies. I'm a little embarrassed to bring a lady to my home and for her to see a mass of video games.
Oh.
How long into this relationship before I should stop being cool and suave and let her know that I'm really a huge nerd? Love, the bashful gamer.
Okay, here we go. If she can't appreciate your video game habit, fuck her. Not fuck her, but get her the fuck out of there. You don't want to deal with her. Okay?
That's
bashful gamer. I'm thinking we're thinking the same thing here. That Charles just said. So bashful gamer, I would say, ease her in slowly. Take her
just like inch by inch. You don't want to just go right in there. You just want to
you
make sure there's plenty
you want to gently have her enter your gaming verse, your gaming world. Yeah.
But then if she still can't take it, fuck that shit.
Jesus, man.
And again, not literally.
Find a girl who could accept your video gamingness.
Well, what you'll want to find more than that is someone who will appreciate it. And then after that will come acceptance, they'll tolerate it. But if they don't like it,
that's not really the question. The question isn't as much, find somebody that'll tolerate it. How long before I try it on for size?
Okay. I misheard. I'd say, hey, do it now. Peel that Band-Aid off.
Yeah. Quick and fast. These are my video games.
Okay.
Just show her your joystick right away.
Yeah. You want to be able to you need to make sure that she can handle your hard drive and all of the accoutrements that comes with it. And if you want, you can make a fun game out of it. Be like, show up one day to her house, some red roses, some candy, and a Nintendo cartridge, and just say, hey, baby, blow me. And I think she'd get a good kick out of that. I think it's romantic.
Who wouldn't?
I would show off the NES Advantage.
All right, so there you go.
You got the turbo on there, or you got the slow feature.
Just give it a few minutes. Let it then just ease in. You can't. Yeah. You don't want to hide who you are. You don't want to put up fronts. You don't have to be a Rico Suave all the time. You can just ease into it and then slide her into your world.
And true story, that's how I got Jenny. I said, want to come over to my house and play Duck Hunt? And that's what we did, and she's been with me ever since.
That's romance.
See, bashful gamer? Love is in the air. Love will keep us together. Anyways. Well, that's a great letter, Turf. Yes. Did we get any more letters from our fans?
I got another one, and this will make Turf really upset.
Oh, good. I love being upset.
This is from Sega Moose Cat's 98 Potatoes. Dumbest fucking name ever. I don't know where they came up with that. But they say, Dear OPB, why does the NES suck? You fucking asshole, you're fucking wrong.
Wow.
What was his name again?
Wow.
Sega Moose Cat's 98 Potatoes.
Take it.
Well, there's not going to be much change in the gentleman like this is a name. And I'm assuming it's a dude because I'd like to think that the ladies are a little bit more smooth than that. I'm going to say to each his own. You like you. I like me. I'll play the NES. You play the Master System. Maybe you're from Brazil. Maybe that's the thing. You're a Brazilian, and that was your deal. That was your jam. So there you go. You do you, buddy.
Yeah,
I'll do me, and we'll just be happy.
I have to say this scum.
Scum.
What saved the video game industry? The NES.
Your mom.
That's what this fucker would say.
As he would say, yeah.
But yeah, the NES, you wouldn't have your PS4 or your Xbox One X's. that's a stupid name. You know, without the NES, without Super Mario Brothers, without Contra, without Double Dragon, without your Bill and Ted's Excellent Video Game Adventure, even though that's a bad game.
It would still be here without Bill and Ted. Let's just be honest.
They got to remaster it. Okay, yeah. That game sucks.
You got a little carried away.
Without Contra, Super C. You know, without Yoshi's Cookie.
Well, I think that everyone's entitled to their own opinion. This is my response to Sega Moose Cat. I don't know what the hell he was.
Potatoes.
Thank you. He obviously has his taste in games and in consoles, and that's fine, you know. To each their own. Now, I wouldn't be so harsh about that. I think there's a way to say, instead of saying the Nintendo sucks, you know, that's immature and juvenile. Grow up, potatoes. You need to learn how to eloquently voice your opinions, and who knows? Maybe you can change your mind at some point.
Maybe you just need to accept the opinions of others, you tool. The more I've listened to this, it's not as much the hatred for the NES or anything else. It's just the fact that you're a douchebag.
Yeah.
If you know you're that big of a tool, man, just lose my number, lose the show. We don't need you, man. We've got our handful of subscribers, and we won't miss people like you.
Yeah. So
just if you're gonna be that judgmental and that much of a dill hole, I just said dill hole. I couldn't think of anything that was PG-13 to say.
That's all right. We crossed the.
Yeah, just go ahead and move on, man. We don't need that kind of negativity here.
But thank you for the letter. We appreciate it.
But hey, thanks for writing in.
Yeah.
And do you guys got any more?
No, I'm good.
Any more questions that people sent you?
You only got two from our fans?
I got one more.
Okay. Who's this come from?
Some other weirdo. I don't know where he got his information from, but they're asking, Dear OPB, how come Sega never made a cup holder attachment for the Sega Genesis? But they claim that Nintendo made one for the Game Gear. I have no idea. This is Kevin Arnold's Moose. Maybe the same person as Sega Moose Cats 98.
Did you say Kevin Arnold? Like
Kevin Arnold's Moose.
The kid from the Wonder Years?
Yeah.
What would you do?
Kevin Arnold's Moose. Apparently Kevin Arnold had a moose in Wonder Years. I never saw that episode.
Was Fred Savage Canadian?
I don't know.
I don't think so. But if you see him nowadays, he's the same, which is weird.
That is a good question why Sega never made a cup holder for the Sega Genesis, because they made so many other attachments for it. Why didn't they make a cup holder for it?
Were cup holders a thing back in the Sega day, though? I mean,
it was because they couldn't get it out of second gear.
Yeah.
There you go. Because like when I see a cup holder, like I still get kind of excited. You know, growing up, neither of my parents' cars had cup holders. So if you had a drink, you were holding it.
But I remember they made that with those little coffee cups that had a little sticky thing. You peeled off the bottom, stuck it on your dashboard, and you swept the cup in and out like so.
I don't remember those either. Yeah, so I think cup holders were just too fancy for Sega to implement.
Yeah, but
I don't think. Yeah,
Nintendo never made one for the Game Gear. Nintendo never did anything for the Game Gear.
Nintendo made the Game Boy Color in response to the Game Gear, and the Game Gear went like this.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But I still love it. Well, thank you, Kevin Arnold's Moose, for that interesting question. Hopefully we were able to help.
That was interesting.
Huh, that was interesting.
Yeah.
Are we going to pretend that we actually appreciate that? Because
that was a dumb question.
Hey, there's
no such thing as dumb questions, just dumb people.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say there's no such thing as dumb questions, but there are lots of inquisitive idiots, I've been told. Yeah. So
some idiot must have written that question.
Some dumb inquisitive idiot. I love it. Any more letters on your end, Charles, my friend?
That's all I got.
All right. Well, we are actually getting close to our mark. We started a little bit late, but that's okay. We are out of our letters, and hopefully we can get some more here in here real soon. But until then, all good things must come to an end. And as we do in our parents' basement, I'm going to hand the floor to Turf, and he's going to tell us how we listen to this episode, and he's going to say our goodbyes and all that good stuff. So Turf, take it away.
All right. Well, if you enjoyed this episode of Our Parents' Basement, there's something wrong with you. Wait, no, there's more. There's more of this insanity. Just check it out. There's 85 other episodes of Our Parents' Basement. 85 hours of us yakking.
That's dedication.
It's actually pretty fun. You could drive like all the way across the country and back 5 hours. And that's probably wrong, but I'm going to say it anyways. So there's plenty of that over there on the YouTubes. You can watch it. You can see us. You can watch the hand gestures and us hold up games. But the real cool thing about this is it's audio only. We have an audio only podcast available on your mobile device, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, iHeartRadio, Spotify, SoundCloud, Yakety Schmackety, wherever else we could land that thing. And if you find a service that doesn't have Our Parents' Basement, tell them you want it. And if they don't listen, tell me you want it, and I'll get it on there. So check us out on your mobile device. Hit us up on iTunes, hit us up on Twitter at OPB Podcast, Facebook.com/OPB Podcast. That's where these messages come from. So if you want to send us any of these messages, any of these letters to the Dear OPB, you just hit us up on Facebook, Twitter. You can email them to us at gmail.com. opbpodcast@gmail.com. There we go. I had to get it out. So
gmail.com at OPB.
We love to hear from y'all. We love all the feedback. If it's nothing else than just say, what's up? We made you laugh. That's more than enough to keep us going. So thank y'all. I appreciate y'all watching. If y'all have half as much fun listening to this as we do making it, then it's a success. So
I agree. Thank
y'all so much.
Well, thank you very much for that, Turf. And Charles and Turf, thanks for joining me once again in the basement. I had a great time as always. Next week, we shall be back with a new show and some new stuff to talk about. And I can't wait. But until then, we'll just say our goodbyes now. And we'll catch you guys real soon.
Later, guys.